welcome to Pistol Australia's inaugural Hall of Fame induction. Late last year, Pistol Australia discussed the possibility of setting up a Hall of Fame. The same as most other sports have a Hall of Fame. And after discussions between management and executive, it was agreed that we should set up a Hall of Fame to recognise our athletes from their performances and what have you from the past over the last 50 years. And originally, this was going to be an induction at the National Championships in Queensland back at Easter, but of course the COVID, that was cancelled. So we've now decided to do a short segment and do the induction live on screen. The first inductee is PATTIE DENCH. PATTIE DENCH was the first athlete in Australia to win an Olympic medal in either male or female. And PATTIE won her medal at the 1984 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. She won a bronze medal after a shoot-off. PATTIE was a great athlete and a good member of Pistol Australia, and congratulations to PATTIE on her induction.
Well, we've been welcomed into the home of PATTIE DENCH, our 1984 Olympic bronze medalist, and a great honour coming your way, Hall of Fame induction for Pistol Australia. How does it make you feel?
Oh, I was absolutely thrilled. I couldn't sleep that night. I was so excited because the first thing I did, I rang my 4 children, told them, and they were all thrilled. So I went to Bridge. I said, made the big, I said, because they're all interested in there and they all know me. So I mean, everybody's thrilled for me, and I'm just chuffed, really am.
As Australia's first ever medalist in shooting sport, of any shooting sport at the Olympics, and quite a pioneer of women's shooting and pistol shooting in Australia, it's a great accolade.
Oh yeah, I'm really proud of that. I mean, how lucky was I that the ladies had just started to shoot, and I was lucky enough to go, because I was told in 1980 by my coach they're going to have ladies shooting in 1984, and so I went out and bought myself a new gun, because all those times I was having second-hand guns, and I worked really hard. He said, oh, you're going to have ladies in 1984. I was so thrilled to be the first representative in pistol shooting.
And we've got your medal there on the table, the 1984 bronze medal from Los Angeles.
Thank you.
That's pride and place in your trophy cabinet?
Oh yes, it was. Yes, it's in my trophy cabinet. I love it. Everybody loves it. Everybody's touched this. I don't know how many people have had their fingers on it, so I don't mind, because I won this for Australia, not just me, Australia. It was a different feeling from going to World Championships to the Olympics. Totally different. This different feeling came into you that you're representing the whole of Australia. It was absolutely wonderful.
Pistol Australia have got 4 athletes going to Tokyo this year, the delayed Tokyo Olympics. Mm-hmm. Will you be tuning in on the TV and watching and supporting, hoping they go really well?
Oh yes, I watch sport all the time, and when they get up on the podium, it puts a real lump in my chest, and I get up there, and it brings back memories of when I stood up there. I mean, I never cried when I won my medal, because I'd worked, I think, too hard to win it. I mean, I didn't know where I was going to come. I used to say, oh, how do you reckon you'll go, PATTIE? Oh, I said, I reckon I'll come in the top 5. That was just my aspiration. I'll get to the top 5. That was all. And so I think when I got on there, I thought I earned that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And life for you now, you're turning 90 not too far away. You're still in great shape, getting around well. You're doing craft. You're doing some fantastic other activities to keep yourself busy.
Yes, back to my bridge 2 or 3 times a week. And so enjoying that. Missed it so much last year. But then I got my embroidery machine, so I'm making quilts and things for babies, and got new great-grandchildren arriving this year. So I'm getting 10 at the end of the year, be number 10. So we're populating Australia.
Well done. Well, PATTIE, on behalf of everyone in Pistol Australia, congratulations. The whole community is right behind you and congratulates you in your induction to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, thank you. It was my pleasure to have done all the hard work, won the medal for you, for Australia. I'm absolutely thrilled, absolutely. And nearly makes me want to cry. Yeah, it's great.
Our second inductee is Phillip Adams, OAM. Phillip would be our most decorated pistol shooter in Australia. Phillip has attended 6 Commonwealth Games and been in most of the team's events in centerfire, air pistol, free pistol and standard pistol, and has won numerous medals over those 6 games that he has attended. And interestingly enough, just for the record, Phillip still holds the centerfire record here in Australia of a 588 shot back in 1989. So it's my pleasure to also induct Phillip Adams, OAM, into the Pistol Australia Hall of Fame.
So welcome, Phillip. Inducted into the Pistol Australia Hall of Fame. How does that feel for you after such a glittering career?
Well, it's quite surprising, actually.
You're the most successful athlete in Commonwealth Games history in terms of medals won and competed. When you started pistol shooting as a younger man, did you ever dream of that would be something you achieved?
No, not at all. You don't do that way. Well, I was always a shooter. I started shooting basically in the cadet unit at school at 12 years old, shooting 303 rifles, no earmuffs, no glasses, semi-deaf. So I went from that to pistol shooting, basically.
And the early days, obviously you had an aptitude, good skills towards shooting targets. How hard did you have to work after that? Once you realised, I can be good at this, how hard did you have to work to be a champion?
I suppose what it all boils down to is how you work out how to put it all together so you can shoot the shots in the middle of the target. Most people just shoot and they just, when they finish shooting, go home, come back next week and do the same thing, and nothing changes. Scores stay the same. They miss the target, they hit the target sometimes they're happy, go to the pub, have a beer, whatever. But to me, it's about making it perfect. That's the way I run the farm, everything's the same. How do you make it right?
So you spend a lot of time on the mental side of shooting, thinking about performance, thinking about how you approach the actual match and your shot process?
You break the shot process down into little bits. So the little bits make a big bit. So basically you got to hold the gun, you've got to hold the gun still, you hold the gun correctly, so when you squeeze the trigger, the gun doesn't move. So that's one part. So you've got to practice that. So you break it down to all the skills that are required to shoot a shot correctly. And when you can do that with your eyes closed, you're sort of halfway there.
So you'd advocate to any young shooters coming up, the ranks, juniors, moving through to seniors, it's work ethic is going to get you to the top?
Well, I think it applies to any sport. It's the work ethic. You know, if you're in a professional sport like football or something like that, they're looking at the technical part all the time, aren't they, these days? And not just, that's what you used to do. They'll split it up and they just do different skills and that sort of thing, and drills. And so shooting's the same. If you want to get the top, you've got to be the top. When I went overseas, I suppose first time was in Korea, the World Championships. I think I came about 9th. I thought I was going to win it, but I got too nervous. So that's what came into the equation after I'd perfected everything. You know, I said I can win this, and all of a sudden you shoot 3 10s and 2 10s that go astray. I know where the shots go every time you fire. You know, you couldn't, just lost control, and then it was a long time after that to get all that under control, to understand what it is. So a lot of people just get nervous, and I understand that, but it's a big ask to try and teach them how not to. But I remember this air match we had in, must be in Cuba, I think. We were lined up, there was about 100 people in the line, no roof in the air pistol range. The cyclone came, and I was sitting in the middle of the pack with a Russian guy, Halfway through, all the targets went up in the air about 300 metres. And a bloke called Don Mygood, his little short bloke, he died too, poor bugger. But he was shooting right up against the wall at one end and he won.
His targets didn't get blown away.
No wind. There's some of the odd things that happened. Somewhere else we went to was really hot, and the CO2 guns, you had to go and get some ice and put on them because they just lock up. They wouldn't work.
Too hot.
So a lot of things affect your scores that you can't control sometimes. Yeah.
And tell me, Commonwealth Games, 18 medals overall, the most medalled competitor in all Commonwealth Games history. That's quite an achievement.
Oh, I don't know, I suppose it is. It's what you do, isn't it? It's a job.
You're quite humble about what you've achieved.
It's just my job, it's what I did, what I have to do. I don't know what else you can think about it.
I mean, you've obviously had some great competitions and you've travelled the world pistol shooting, which
yeah, well,
is
it was interesting Commonwealth Games because I used to do a lot of coaching when I was at the Commonwealth Games. Sri Lankans and all those people that couldn't bloody shoot, just spend the time on their own, teach them how to shoot. That was interesting. So I quite enjoyed that.
Been a champion shooter across your life, as I said, the most successful Commonwealth Games athlete across all sports. Induction into the Pistol Australia Hall of Fame. Tell me how that makes you feel.
I think there's other people that probably should be there as well, if I'm going to go there.
Well, you've been a champion shooter and a great competitor and ambassador for Australia, so
yeah,
congratulations.
That's what
Well
I
done,
do.
Phillip Adams.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for tuning in, and our congratulations to our first inductees, PATTIE, DENCH and PHILLIP Adams.